CultKingdom.net presents the Geek Stuff Review. This time we're looking at Pokemon Go. This makes the Geek list because it stirs the murky soup of nostalgia. Some of us remember when Pokemon didn't require an internet connection, and despite being called red or blue, the only colour you saw was green. I was skeptical about Pokemon Go. I love the Pokemon main games, I've invested hundreds of hours in them, but the spin-offs tend to be a bit subpar. However, I downloaded this, and within minutes, I was addicted. This is a craze which will only get bigger. Developed by Niantic, creators of the smartphone game Ingress, Pokemon Go seems to share the same DNA, and it benefits from that because it has years of development already behind it. Essentially, the game uses geolocation data to figure out where you are, and specific locations, usually local landmarks, are labelled as Pokestops, and you can access them to get goodies, or gyms, where you can battle for your team. And while you're out and about, Pokemon appear, and you can catch them to build up a collection, and maybe even evolve them to higher forms. It's called Pokemon Go for a reason. You have to do just that. Go! Check out that fella there. He ain't going anywhere unless you go out and get moving. So to control your avatar, you walk about in the real world, and they walk about in the Pokemon Go world. They follow you around. Now the map is actually impressively accurate. Anyway, see that pulsing circle at your feet? Anything within the radius of that can be accessed, such as those Pokestops I mentioned earlier. Tap these to get items. Once you've been there, you'll need to wait 10 minutes or so before you can go back again, and if you're too far from one, you can see a picture and a description helping you identify where it is. And once you hit level 5, you can go to the gym, not for a workout and a quick dip in the jacuzzi, but to beat up Pokemon. Here you can join a team, red, blue or yellow, and you can earn gold if you defend a gym which is your colour, or take over one which belongs to another. This clearly requires practice and a bit of levelling up. But of course what you want to be doing is catching Pokemon. As they appear, you click on them, and then flick your finger to throw a Pokeball at them. You need accuracy, and you get bonus points if you throw at the right time. Now the right time is when the circle around the Pokemon is at its smallest. If the coloured circle around the Pokemon is green, they should be relatively easy to catch. If it's amber or red though, you might have to level up a bit, use a better Pokeball, or use one of the items from your bag. The game has some features which may seem slightly bewildering at first, but it all fits together well. The rectangle at the bottom right of the screen, click that to see which Pokemon are near. Let's look at the main screen. The Pokeball icon in the middle gives access to the Pokédex. Now this shows what you've caught and what you've seen. Now the shop icon is pretty literal in its description. Click it and it opens the shop. Now here you can buy items using the gold that you've earned in the game, or if you really want, you can actually buy Pokemon Gold with real money. And the Pokemon icon contains a list of all the Pokemon and unhatched eggs in your collection. The items button is also a bit of a giveaway. Click this to show the goodies that you have in your bag. Now remember those Pokestops from before? The items that you collect from there go in here. Settings, I guess that's pretty obvious, allows you to change the default settings. Clicking the dude icon brings up more information about you, or in this case, me. And as you can see, I've got snazzy orange clothes. You can check your gold here, and you can also check any gym team that you're a member of. And finally, clicking journal enables you to relive your recent moments. So, that's a summary of the game and the basic gameplay. It's very addictive, it absolutely kills your battery. You need GPS and a data connection, so either a well-covered Wi-Fi zone or your mobile data. At the time of this review, Pokemon Go isn't officially available in the UK, and yet I've literally seen dozens of people playing it and going out of their way to visit Pokestops and gyms. I said before that this is a craze which will get bigger. Personally, I hope that future app updates will include the ability to have a friend list, trade Pokemon, maybe even have local device-to-device battles, perhaps missions like subgames. Ultimately though, I'd love to see a tie-in with a future Pokemon title, so that you could use the Pokemon you've captured in Pokemon Go in an actual Pokemon game. Now Nintendo are the masters of innovation, and with a new console still to be announced, perhaps this will be their killer move, especially if they already have millions of people using the Pokemon Go app. I'm resisting giving this 5 stars. It is a great game, and I am completely addicted. But there's so much potential there to unlock. I want to battle with friends and trade with them. And I want a future Pokemon game to link with my Pokemon Go game. If a future version of this app does all that, then this may well become an era-defining game title which goes beyond a craze and changes the gaming landscape forever.